All right, Big Bang, welcome to the Dave Portnoy Show with Eddie and Company, presented by Taser. The Taser Strike Light is a rechargeable, high-powered flashlight that can repel an attacker through its electric stun feature. It literally combines a flashlight and a stun gun. Why would you have a flashlight without this feature, Dave?
You wouldn't. You'd be a moron, Eddie.
You'd be a moron. Listen, I'm getting asked about the Taser like crazy. All my buddies like, hey, how do I get the Taser? How do I get the Taser? So this is a good move here.
They want me. They want me to.
Give it a stun. I think you're on the flashlight side. No, that's the gun. So for those listening, Dave's trying to spark the Taser here. That's the gun. I don't know if we want to shoot that. Can you get it, Mike?
See it, do it. That's the flashlight. Oh. See
Oh.
that?
I heard
Who's
it.
fucking with you, Eddie? If you come at, listen. If you're in trouble, Eddie, in a dark alley or wherever, and you do that, and you fucking start fucking with people, yeah, you run the other way. You run the other way when that noise comes, Eddie. That's trouble.
Gone.
Eddie, you're a big boy. This will take you down in one fell swoop.
I'd be down. I'd be knocking over garbage cans in that alley. What do people got to do to get a hold of one, Dave? They got to go to taser.com, right? Use promo code Barstool.
Yep. Did you hear that noise? 15% off. Please note, limited number of states require a permit for use, which we love. And Taser products cannot be purchased for people in Hawaii or Rhode Island. So tough luck. You're probably just going to get mugged if you live in those states.
Got time to move. All right, Dave. We're back after a week off. So this name, Michelangelo, I don't know what you're going to put on the title, but to me, this is like the name drop episode. Okay? Because between the fun and between Miami last week, I feel like you've just been running into the who's who of everybody. Okay. So not much Barstool news. So I'm just going to name names here. And if there's a story, jump into it. If not, we'll just keep it moving. Does that work?
Sure.
All right. So let's start with Miami.
I don't even know that you're going to get them all because there are a lot of names. It's crazy, but go ahead.
So Miami, we'll start it up with Fat Joe.
So Fat Joe. So I met Fat Joe at Komodo. That's my friend Dave Grutman owns that restaurant. Fat Joe is there, and he introduces like, "Hey, Fat Joe, this is Dave," and we start talking. And now, keep in mind, Caleb. This was Caleb's number one guy he wanted when he started at Barstool, Fat Joe. So I'm talking with Fat Joe, and we're hitting it off. It's just me and Fat Joe, couple dudes being guys. And next thing you know, Fat Joe's like, "Let me take your number." He takes my cell phone, puts his number in there, and let me see what I got here. Let me look up. So, Fat Joe. And by the way, number one guy, I mean, he's fucking Fat Joe. I'm part of the terror squad. So let me see. I have Fat Joe. Fat Joe. There he is. I said, Fat Joe, Wednesday, 10:44 p.m. Dave from Barstool. Here's the response. I got you.
Where is it gone since then? Or we're just sitting on the
I'm slow
intro?
playing. I don't want to, run around and be like sucking Fat Joe's dick, but I love Fat Joe.
Where'd you guys run into? Is it Grutman's place or was
Komodo.
it at,
It's a restaurant.
Okay, yeah, all right, that's right. So that's where we're at. We're just at the intro stage with Fat Joe.
Well, we know each other. Me and Fat Joe, we vibed.
Did he come up to you or did you go up to him?
Well, Dave Grutman provided the introduction.
All right. Next one on the list here. We got Odell Beckham Jr., which you tweeted at Dion.
Yeah, well, Dion loves Odell, and I trash Odell. So this happens time to time. You get introduced, you meet somebody, and it's like, oh, I've talked a lot of shit about this guy. So I just told him. I was like, you know Dion, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, he defends you. I say you're trash. And it's like, he handled it all right. Next thing you know, we took a picture of me and Odell, and I sent it to Dion. Like you said, I'm like, here's your boy.
Did Dion respond? Did he say
He laughed. He's like, how'd you meet him? How the hell did this picture come about? But that was the first time I saw Odell like 8 more times during the course of the weekend. I saw, when I was making it rain with Tyga and Odell and Prince Fred and Scott Storch and Purple.
Making it rain where? What were you doing?
Strip club.
Is there any pictures or videos?
Yeah, there's a
of it?
video. Like I was minding my own business in the corner. And when I say strip club, like Miami has strip clubs. I'd say they're clubs with strippers. So like 11. Like, you're not like going with your boys to a dingy like strip club. It's a fucking club. Bottle service, the works, very busy. So I was there. Paul left early. I was still there early, like 5 a.m. I was still there, and a guy came and pulled me. He's like, "Hey, Tyga wants you." It was the one, like, I look around, I was like, "Me?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, I don't think it's me." He's like, "Yeah, come with me." It was like when a famous person or a rapper spots a girl at the club and, like, the bouncer goes and gets them. Like, they're like, "No, you're coming with me." I'm like, "All right." So I went up, and they're all standing on kind of like on this reverse stage. And there's, like, just throngs of people looking back at Tyga. And I was just standing next to Tyga and Prince Fred and Scott. Do you know Scott Storch? He, like, is a Grammy-winning, like, producer. Odell. And I had a stack of ones, like, to the roof in my hands. And I don't really know how to throw ones, so I was just kind of, like, flinging them. And then I said to Tyga, I'm like, "Is this what you do? Like, people are just staring at us like zoo animals." He's like, "Yeah, pretty much. This is what I do." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm getting out of here." And I left.
Are you a strip club guy?
No, but again, Miami's very different. In Miami, I am. Is my voice, I always feel like that something weird's going on, but I guess not. Fine.
Your voice sounds fine, yeah.
Okay.
You sound fine to me. Okay, so now is he in the phone book?
No, I actually don't have Tyga's number. But
What
I
about
think I
Odell?
could get it pretty quickly because he seems to be like a fan.
And Odell, is he in there?
No. I don't think Odell knows what to make of me.
He's still kind of thrown off.
He had a huge crew. We were at this club, Gold Rush. And again, it's me and Paul are like the guys, and we have a table, and they treat us great. Shout out to, like, the 11 guys and the Gold Rush guys. They're great. The table next to us had 100 of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. I mean, I'd say one was prettier than the next, but it's untrue because they were all as pretty as a girl can be. And there were a million of them. And I didn't know any of the guys at the table. The guys were ordinary looking at best. And it's like, who the fuck are these people? Like, when I say I've been in Miami now a lot, I've been in fancy places, Nantucket, Hampton, Saratoga. Never seen a table like this table, overflowing with gorgeous girls. It was the OnlyFans guys. The guy who, like, ran OnlyFans in the United States in some huge agency that has OnlyFans girls. It was stunning, to say the least.
Did you go up to them or they come up to you?
So I have, during the course of going out, tons of people who come up to me, guys, and hand me business cards and pitch me concepts, ideas. I'm in no place, time, shape to, like, hear it. I have to be like, this isn't the place. Like, it just is not the place at 4 a.m. at half strip club, half club. I'm shit-faced. Like, I'm not paying any attention. The OnlyFans guy did come up to me. He handed me his business card. He's like, "Hey, I work for OnlyFans. Here's my card. Love to talk." Walked away. Before I knew anything else, I turned to a girl. I go, "That's a real guy." I didn't know who he was, what he did, but the way he did it, it's like, real guy. And he was a real guy. We had a conference call with him the next day. Paul, Erica, I wasn't on, but real guy. So they came up to me, but damn, what? OnlyFans.
So is there going to be like a crossover?
Gaz keeps saying he wants to put, like, our feet on an OnlyFans for Barstool. I'm not joking.
Your feet?
Feet, not just my feet, the feet of Barstool.
Are you open to this? Is this
I think something's going to happen with OnlyFans, yeah. Like, Paul's like, "Oh, someone took our name, our OnlyFans. Barstool account has been, like, taken." Because, like, people are probably laughing, but, like, Vice is now on OnlyFans. Like, you got to move. OnlyFans is exploding. So he's been complaining. Someone took Barstool Sports. Someone got it. This guy, the guy who I knew was a guy, snapped his fingers and got it back to us in 20 seconds. He's like, "Oh, I'll take care of that." Bing, bing, bang, boom. Had the hottest girl maybe I've ever seen all over him. It was this OnlyFans table, and Caleb was also there. So Caleb was there, and when you see Caleb in the wee hours of the morning, he had his own crew. And I had some funny late night conversations with Caleb. But he comes up to me. I'm trying to recall the Caleb. So one of the conversations, he comes up to me. He's like, man, you just go. I'm like, what? It's like 4 a.m. God knows what I'm on, what's going on. He's like, and who knows what Caleb's on. When Caleb's stone sober, he's like on something. So he's just like, you just go. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I've worked here a while. I never really like appreciated you, but from afar, you just go. Like it's like you just decide something and you go, and that's it. He's like, you can't teach that. You got to be born with it. He's like, you just go. I've never seen anything like it. And I think he's talking about like the fund, DDTG. He's like pizza. He's like, you just go. And then the next day, we went there like 100 days in a row. He's like, yo, we're them guys. Like, we did it. I'm like, what? He's like, I mean, look around. He's like, do you know we did it? Like, we made it. He's like, everyone here knows who we are. He's like, look around. And there's all the girls and like booze and we're at a table. He's like, what else is there in life? Like, we did it. We're those guys. And then like 20 minutes later, the OnlyFans are there. I'm like, those are the guys. And then he's like, yeah, but at least we're the guys next to the guys now. And that's what we were. We were the guys next to the guys. Like, we thought we were doing pretty well. And then the OnlyFans. I've never seen anything like, I've been in a lot of clubs now. I've never seen anything like. And at one night, Odell was next to us, his table. I've been next to, you name it, I've been next to him in a club. Nothing like what the OnlyFans were doing. And apparently it's because these girls are making millions of dollars on OnlyFans. And they're like, the way they're promoted and is all in the hands of these people. And it's like, they'll do it. They have so much power and influence and control of their livelihoods. And these weren't like skanks. These were like beautiful, classy, A+ looking girls, a gazillion of them.
So when he says this to you, Caleb, we're the guys, did you like take that in? You're like, fuck yeah, we are. Or were you like, no, like, what the fuck are you talking about, Caleb?
No, I mean, I don't know what's happened. He asked too. He's like, when did this happen? Because even he's like out without me. He went to a couple places, like everyone knows me. It's like everywhere I go, everyone knows me. Like Caleb. I don't know. We've definitely hit a different level. I don't know when that happened. I feel like we keep going there and it all comes together, like the Barstool Fund, which I'm sure you're going to get into. But, I was with Paul, who's helping, and he clearly can appreciate it because he's employee one working out of the kitchen. And it's like, hey, I just talked to Aaron Rodgers. Hey, I just talked to Guy Fieri. Hey, I just talked to Sylvester Stallone. Like one after another. It's surreal. But Fat Joe, I don't know.
I think the mix is what's crazy. Is because, like you said, you were working pretty much, or you were go around the clock. You said that on the rundown on Monday. Like during the day, you're helping the common folk, you're helping save businesses, but at night you're with these fucking who's who of the world. So that's a pretty crazy week to end it out.
I maybe slept for like 4 to 5 hours in the week. I mean, literally, like I was getting in at 6 a.m., waking up at 8 a.m., like calling businesses, going through the stuff, doing media, and then just doing it all over again at night. Hard.
I mean, Saturday you said, I got a good night's sleep last night. And it was 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's 4 times as much as I got the night before.
Yeah, we were out late.
What about Meek Mill and Kodak Black?
Forgot about Meek Mill. Yep, met Meek Mill. I mean, I'm just forgetting. Yeah. And Meek knew because Meek's like, oh, you guys have Wallow and Gilly, like, right? So, yep. So, met Meek Mill. Then on the plane ride home, Kodak Black DM'd me. I'm like, you can DM people from prison. He's in jail, but I guess you can. So I have a call with them. I don't know what they want to do.
It's insane. And then Madison Beer.
Yep. So, and I told this story on BFFs, but we were at the pool, and Madison Beer, who I wouldn't have recognized, but I was working, so I came up late. Paul was already there, and they're like, oh, Madison Beer's over there. And we have that video from BFFs where I thought James Charles was Madison Beer. And I'm like, I have to show it to her. I still have that. This is content. If I get the video of me showing it to her and her reaction and Paul's taping it, that's viral city. And I don't want to do it. I've never want to do that stuff. It's embarrassing. It's awkward. And I just got to put myself out of my body, be like, you just have to do it. And Paul was being a pussy in the beginning. He's like, I don't want to do it. It's going to be, I'm like, you've changed. Like, we have to do this. Like, she's there. We have to do it. He's like, it's going to be so weird. She's with her boyfriend who's like this 17-year-old skater kid with a Chinese tattoo on his neck and her dad. And she's in a bikini. It's like, I'm just going to walk up. She's going to have no idea who I am. We're two older guys. Paul's fucking looks like, Mr. Clean. It's like, oh, he's just going to shove a camera in her face while I'm doing it. And we went back and forth on this, trying to like gain the momentum to do it for half an hour. And then she gets up and walks over to me. She's like, you're Dave from Barstool, right? I was like, yep. She's like, I love that, like, James Charles video. It's so funny. All my buddies love you and were like telling me about it. Next thing I know, she's got my cell phone, putting her phone number in it. So it's just like, what a world.
Crazy. And you're going back today?
Yes. So
And
I
like-
wasn't even going to come back. I always wanted to stay that extra week, but I wasn't comfortable that we could set these podcasts up and look right. And so I came back really to do this and BFFs, and then I'm going to go back because I really don't have anything else this week.
And then obviously you're gearing up for fucking to go do gun
Right.
shit. So.
Michigan will be end of January, and then I won't have a day off forever. So
Yeah. Well, that's a fucking wild 10 days or whatever it was.
I mean,
so.
we haven't even, if I wrote a list of who else I saw, I know there's more people at that restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Brown was.
Oh, Chris Brown got introduced. He's another one I've trashed. It's like, because he ran away, but I mean, he did beat Rihanna. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, I don't know. It's like just people on top of people on top of people.
People are always interested. Like some people send some emails too. How does it work here? Like even if you're at a Dave place or not, like are you always paying? Is it like, hey, you're the Barstool guy, so you're in? How does all that work?
For the most part, Dave, who I've become very friendly with, Grutman, just comps he fucking comped Gaz dinner, and I wasn't even there. And by the way, you can't get into a lot of these places. Like, we're getting into places. Grutman is the king of Miami. I've become friendly with him. All his places are fucking awesome. All of them are loaded with celebs. All of them everybody wants to go to. And he picks up the check like every single time. I mean, he treats me basically like family. The 11 guys have been great. They charged me on New Year's Eve for the first time in a long time, and then they're going to donate it to the Barstool Fund. But again, I'm close with all of them, and they are very nice to me.
And then you bring up Gaz. We got to bring up the picture where there was like a photo shoot of you and 4 girls at the table, and then poor Gaz is just cut out.
They cut Gaz out, and I think it made me look worse, I thought, because I look like a pimp. It's like there's 4 girls and I'm at the head of the table. So it was like a 6-person table. The 2 girls are on each side, and then I was at one head, Gaz is at the other. Yeah. So I just look like a fucking pimp. I'm bright orange there, too.
And if you're not at the head of the table, it maybe changes things, but you being at the head makes it look like that for sure.
Yeah. So I would have preferred he be in it. It was he's a nobody, so they cut him out. But then they put me in it, and I just look like a pimp.
That's wild, man. What a fucking week, especially with, like I said, with the videos you were doing all day. So we could get into the Barstool Fund here,
And by
too.
the way, the amount of people who come up to just like I'm the king of small business right now. So it's like everybody everywhere is just very appreciative. So, super nice, everybody. I mean, we met a fucking guy, speaking of the Barstool Fund, he's walking through the hotel lobby, and we had looked at he donated $100,000, And we didn't know who he was. And we thought it was fake, looked up real. We see him the next day walking through. We had no idea who he is. He came up. He's like, yeah, I got so caught up. I was like, shit-faced. I just donated $100,000. $100,000.
And he was just like a regular rich guy or what?
Yeah. He was actually not that old.
Good guy to run into then. That's great.
Yeah. I can't remember. I know I'm forgetting other people. I mean, Miami was as busy as I've ever seen it. I've been there for Super Bowl, Art Basel. It was trying to just get an Uber or get down the elevator in the hotel was sort of like being in rush hour traffic in Manhattan. I mean, it was a zoo.
Jordan Belfort was another one we saw.
Jordan Belfort.
Cool.
I met him. He asked me to do
How's
his
he?
podcast. I didn't talk to him very long.
No.
I'm sure.
Well,
we're
yeah, you
forgetting a
figure
lot.
Florida's the only place open. It's New Year's Eve. Like,
Yeah, no regard really for like COVID.
none.
None.
Well, that's Florida's. That's kind of how they've been the whole time, right?
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
That's wild. I'm sure we'll get even more next week. Are you going to go that hard this week or no?
Well, it won't be as busy because that was New Year's and Christmas.
Yeah.
But no, the plan is not to go that hard.
Not to go that hard. So, all right, we can get into the Barstool Fun. Before we do, though, Felix Gray, they're actually helping out the Barstool Fun. That pair of glasses you always wear, it's called the Roblings. They're donating 10% of that throughout January to the Barstool Fun. So,
Love it.
definitely, yeah. Felix Gray, obviously, you need blue light glasses. You're not supposed to be staring at screens all day, so that's what they're for. You should definitely go get these, like I said, especially since they're helping out. 10% of sales from Dave's favorite frame, the Roebling frame, through January will be donated to Barstool Fun. Shop Dave's favorite frame at felixgray.com/barstoolfun. Through January, 10% donated to Barstool Fun. That's FELIXGRAY.com/barstoolfun. 10% donated. Free shipping, free exchanges, 30-day money-back guarantee. felixgray.com/barstoolfun. I mean, these guys are on top of it. They DM me like right when it happens. So
I forgot, actually, my glasses. I wear them all the time. I just forgot to wear them in here. But, I mean, I had some sent to Miami. I had some sent here because I need them for the computer screen. But just to give you an idea, like, the mayor of Miami just texted me. Like, in between, he's like, can we connect tomorrow?
I mean, does this get old or no?
It's just surreal.
Yeah. So we're still at that, I guess, because, but you've been kind of used to it, or is this like, what's different? Is it the fun?
Fat Joe putting his cell phone number in my phone, that's a little bit different.
Eddie, it's turned a corner because I've been around forever with this thing, and it's like it's not just the stoolie coming up, the white guy yelling "Viva!" Now it's like you got a 12-year-old girl come up being like, "I love BFFs." You got Meek Mill coming up being like Meek Mill, Fat Joe. You got it's across generations. It seems like it's gotten to almost like an A-list thing.
It's crazy.
That is, man, because you figure there's always been like celebrity stoolies and shit, but I guess like people you wouldn't think would cross over, like Fat Joe would be putting his name.
It's
in
one
the
of
phone
those
number.
things where it's now like if you're in, when you see and this is gonna sound crazy, but like actual celebs, if they're in the same place, they just introduce and meet. Like if I'm in there, I meet who's in there. Like I just get introduced one way or the other and have like a quick small talk. It's nuts.
So how about this then? I think last November of 2019, we talked. That was like one of your. There might have been Pegasus or a time after, and you met Grutman, I believe it was. And there was who'd you run into? Sean Penn or Leo? Was at the same place as you?
Dave's like the most connected. Dave Grutman is like the most connected human in the world. So he has definitely facilitated a lot of introductions because he just fucking knows everybody.
But was it like that then? Where
No.
It's like people. Okay.
No.
So since 2019 of November, it's like completely.
I don't know that I can
different.
pinpoint. Quarantine seemingly took us to a different level somehow.
Makes sense. Unboxing.
Call her daddy. Obviously
Makes
the
sense.
fund.
Financial shit.
Yeah, DDTG. It's just it's coming from all angles.
More people on their phones and shit.
Yeah, I
Able to run
guess.
across you. So what's the process of the fun, Dave? Like everyone's asking, like, what do I got to do? So they get the email, then who? So Liz is doing a lot of work. Can you explain like the beginning of how it gets to you?
Sure. So people submit emails. It's barstoolfund@barstoolsports.com. Liz is the first person who kind of got involved going through the emails, making sure they met the requirements, which are a successful business that only had a downturn because of the pandemic, and you assume when the pandemic's over, they'll go back to being successful, and their employees are still being paid as best they can, like that the owner is sometimes taking money out of their savings, mortgaging the house, doing whatever to keep their employees on payroll. If you meet those two requirements, you are eligible. So then Liz will watch the videos, get the information, and it is a little bit of a feel thing because we're never going to be able to help everybody. The one she thinks has a chance gets passed on to me. Then I go through and pick which ones basically get approved. Now we've added more people to help Liz because there's so many emails coming in, but that's the general way it works.
Okay, so it's kind of like a filter, then it filters up to you, and then you pick whatever one you want. Now, and what's been the videos, how many of these are you shooting a day?
It varies 5 to 10, 5 to 15.
Okay. And how much is gone out of the fund? So we're at like 19 mil right now?
We're not there yet. We're at like 18.3, 18.4, I think.
Okay. And then we've used what?
I think Erica would say, I think she was saying 60 to 70% somewhere where. So here's the math on it. We're not just giving people a one-time check. It's the theory is, who knows how long the pandemic goes. So we want to be there not only this month, but next month, 4 months. Hopefully that's about it. 5 months when the pandemic starts opening up, people can go back to business. But what's the point of giving somebody money for 1 month and 3 months down the road, they're right back in the same situation and they go out of business? Like, we wasted the money and we didn't actually help them. So when you're in the fund, we reconnect every month, be like, hey, do you still need that tax bill, that, rent, whatever it may be? And if they do, we'll write them a check again. So we have to do a math because we can have this exploding payroll where it's like we have a $5 million payroll on a monthly basis based on how many companies we have, how much they need. So we got to pay attention to that.
So if it says like K Rico, 15,000 out of 15,000, that could be more than 15,000.
That's 15 a month.
Okay. 15. Okay. So all this is monthly.
Correct. So the 60% assumes, I think, 5 or 6 months of the pandemic, and then 15 times 6 for one company.
How many do you think will help when it's all said and done?
I have no idea. It really is all a function of, can we continue to get the donations? Because the more money we have, the more we can help. We'll never have a shortage of companies to help. We'll have a shortage of money.
And then we talked last week, what's the best way to get people involved? Do you just want to call them out? I think it started with Rapoli the day after we recorded 2 weeks ago. And now it's just like Kid Rock, Guy Fieri, like everyone's jumping in. Is there anything? Did you talk to Kid Rock? What did he have to say? How does that conversation go?
So Kid Rock's son DM'd me. He's like, hey, I'm Kid Rock's son. He's a fan of what you're doing. He wants to donate $100,000. Do you have any time to talk to him? I'm like, sure. Here's my number. 20 seconds later, I was talking to Kid Rock. Surreal. And that was 10 minutes after hanging up with Sylvester Stallone.
How was Sly?
Awesome. I don't even know what he said. I just loved his voice. It's like, he said he would put me in his next movie. I think he was kidding, but he did say that.
No, he would do that for sure.
If imagine that. He's like, you can be the guy who takes out Rocky. That's what he said.
Yeah. So like at the end of these phone calls, like, are you tempted to be like, hey, Kid Rock, love Cowboy? Hey, Rocky IV is my favorite.
I mean, yeah, a little bit with like Rocky, but Kid Rock, I'm just like big fan. Like, let's save Detroit.
Dude, I mean, you're going to be going there soon. Like the pizza review's got to be coming up.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, all this, I forgot. Yeah. And I Zoomed with Jimmy Buffett for an hour. I mean, it's surreal.
And then Guy, from what I heard, you guys are talking every day.
So Guy and I knew each other already. He's like met him through Edelman, and he's done like fake pizza reviews, and I did the pizza review with him when he didn't like how to pronounce his name. Awesome dude. But yeah, Guy and I are just friends now. We're just friends.
Aaron Rodgers, how'd that go?
We're working on him. I think he's going to do something with us. So he had a million questions about the fund, make sure it worked, understood it, gathering information, intellectual. But I think we're going to get him to do something.
Did you talk to Brady, or was it just that tweet?
Just the tweet.
Chris Jericho, he said to reach out to him?
Yeah, I reached out. I don't know the status of that one, actually.
What about Dana White?
Talked to Dana. Dana obviously loves Barstool, loves Robbie. He donated $100,000 within 3 seconds of being called out. He's like, I love what you do. Dana White said, how much do you want? I was like, 25, 50, 100. He's like, 100, done. I think I could have said 500. He would have been like, done.
He probably would have, dude. And then you did a stream with Damon John, right?
Yep. Because, which we knew would happen, the peanut gallery is like, why no black businesses? Why no black business? Listen, we're trying. Like, we can only pick from who's submitting. And the majority, strong majority are white people or women or even minorities that just aren't African-American. We have a lot of Mexican restaurants, but very few, in the scheme of things, African-American businesses. And I'm not an idiot. I know how people think about me and whatnot, the people who don't like me. So I reached out to Damon and told him who I have a good relationship with. Is like, we want to help everybody. We're not getting nearly the number of submissions from African-American community. Maybe we can get the word out. And so we did that. 2 days prior to that, I had reached out to Wallow, and we have like a video. It's like, Wallow, can you like people who follow you? Because everyone's going to just say I'm racist. It's not true at all. You know that. So he helped and made that video after I asked. So it's just doing whatever we can to get the message out to as many people as we can.
The Gary V stream, for the people, I laughed out loud. I saw it in your face, like looking around, like thinking about, like, man, if I don't shower at this time, like it's gonna set everything back.
Gary V, incredible. If I didn't get off that stream, we're still going. I mean, he was asking me what type of favorite bubble gum I had when I was like 11 years old. I mean, it was going. But he donated $100,000. It was very generous. But we did do it late, and I had to get ready to go out. And, I mean, at one point he got up because the doorbell rang. He's like, just talk to people. It's like, all right. And I think it felt like a hostage video. I was like, I'm being held hostage. I've said to Gary V 10 times that I have to leave, and he won't let me leave.
Yeah, Michelangelo, you'll have to put the clip in for the people watching on YouTube, because I was sitting there and just watching, like KFC said yesterday, just knowing you and knowing, like, hey, all right, once again, Barstool Fun, like, I gotta go. I don't know. It got a good laugh out of me.
Real quick, I got to take care of something. I don't know what's going on at my door. Can we go take a step back? We'll come with a little more talk, but can you one more time for the people that just joined, a little more awareness to Barstool Fund and ask for maybe people get involved? I'll be back in 20 seconds.
Yeah, Barstool Fund, donate. We're raising money for small business. He's out. I'm in Miami, so I go shower. I have people coming over, so I don't know how long this thing's going on for, like another 6 hours. But
some unlikely people, Clay Travis and Lewis, made a donation.
So Clay had no choice.
Because of how much he's been.
What was Clay going to do? Not donate? He says he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. It's a cause that he is fervent about, so he had no choice. $10,000, though, it's still $10,000. I'm not going to poo-poo that. But once I called him out, he had no choice. Yeah, and Paul told me Lewis donated. I got 2 names that didn't go through the first time for rejections. One was $500,000, so the account went backwards. We don't know who the person is. If it's real, fake, whatever, I don't know yet. So it actually went reverted, and the other one was Lewis Roberts. But he did redonate.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
So was there a second there where you're like, this fucking guy?
No. I mean, well, who knows? I don't, even he wanted, what would be the benefit of that for him?
Yeah. Some core NFL guys, Olsen, Edelman, Kittle.
Yep.
They got involved.
Yep. Kittle, Olsen, both unsolicited.
Mike Stud, Negreanu, Whitney got involved.
Yep. Whitney was quick to do it.
You called out Darren Rovell. That got into it with an Action Network guy.
What a rat he is.
With who, Rovell or the other guy?
Both. I didn't even call Rovell out that bad. I'm like, hey, a rumor on the street is cheap. Here's your chance to, like, prove him wrong. It's a layup donation. He made it into a mountain. He's the only one who did that. If you don't want to respond, don't respond. But then he's getting all high and mighty. He's the only one. Well, if you count my time and money I've donated, it's like $100,000. If I counted the time that I've donated to the Barstool Fund, I'm like at 100 million. Like and then the Action guy comes out of the clouds being like, of course you said he's cheap, he's Jewish. It's like, What is this company? How stupid are they? That was the worst handling of anything ever by those two idiots. Morons.
I think he deleted the tweet since then.
Of course he did.
When I was going back to look at it, I think
who? Ravel or the other worm?
the other guy,
Call him a worm.
the second guy.
He's a worm.
Isn't so? What's up with that? Aren't they churning on too? There's no.
I don't know if they still are. I don't care. He's a worm.
Great to see.
The CEO of that company jumped in real fast, being like, "I'll make a donation. Maybe my two worms should shut up."
Yeah, they can't have another Brandon Walker situation.
Listen, how stupid is Darren Ravel? How stupid is a worm?
Great to see SVP involved too.
Yep.
Circle of Trust guy.
Unsolicited donation. We were actually waiting. Big Cat was going to call him out, but he was waiting to do his pile because he didn't want to not donate before he did, but SVP beat him to the punch.
Steele, Huggins, Bitcoiners. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yep. The Winklevoss twins.
The Winklevoss twins. And then here's a bunch of people you called out and you never confirmed or not. So that's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to guess no, but Roger Goodell.
No, another fucking moron. I offered to match 250, another chance for him to put this thing behind everybody, but he's just so fucking stupid.
Gronk.
Nothing, as I know from Gronk.
Elon Musk.
Nothing, crickets.
Scooter Braun.
Nothing from Scooter.
And then have the Yankees re-upped their ante.
Nothing from the Yankees. And
you also took a little shot at CNN because they were promoting like a Beyonce fund.
Yeah, it was a shot. I mean, listen, I don't begrudge them tweeting that out. Beyonce's superstar, and I'm not going to belittle donating $500,000 either. So it really wasn't about that. But you would clearly what we're doing is a much larger scale endeavor. There's a lot of celebrities involved. It's got a decent amount of press. You would think they would mention it. Not even for me. Some people I've seen, Dave likes, he's doing publicity for himself, blah, blah, blah. No. I've got myself a second job, and it's gratifying when we see the videos and we're helping people for real on a big level. But the only way to get more money is to publicize. I don't understand how people don't get that. The more publicity we get, the more people we reach on different networks, different media channels who may not know what this is, and they can see it, the more donations we're going to get, the more people we can help. It's pretty fucking simple.
And the local ones have seemed to bought in, though.
Yes.
I know, at least in Chicago, you've been on 7, 9, and
yeah,
Fox.
The local, when you help a local business, the local TV channel or whatever will generally cover it, seems to be the case.
Yeah, but
and Fox News, which people, why are you on Fox News? Well, they're the ones covering it uniformly from the beginning. To me, it's a terrible look for CNN. Someone will have to give me an explanation why they wouldn't. It's newsworthy.
Big time. And then did your dad spill the beans? Are you going on Good Morning America?
Before I came on here, I told my dad, nothing I say, they yell at me for not calling them enough, my mom and dad. And then they just take what I say in private conversations, and my dad runs to Twitter like he's fucking Walter Cronkite. He's getting in a fight with Marcus Lemonis. I don't know why he's doing that. He has no business doing that.
Do you not know why? Do you know why?
My dad said because he said he double donated?
No, because he was saying what he was doing for, the small businesses and everything, but he didn't mention the fund.
That's not what my dad said he was mad about.
That's what I got. That's what I got from his first tweet initially.
My dad said, which I have no confirmation, I don't think is true, that Marcus said he donated more than he donated. I don't think that's true. I don't know why my dad is in a fight online with Marcus Lemonis. I don't know why he thinks he has the right to announce something we haven't said. And no, I'm going on the Today Show, aren't I? What did he say?
I saw that he said, Good Morning America.
No, wrong. Wrong. My dad is wrong. And he's like, can you tell me what you're going to? I go, no, I'm not telling you anything anymore. He goes, Jesus Christ. Get on the phone. We can get him on the phone. I don't know why he thinks those conversations, he now has the right to I'm talking to my mom, going through Oh, call us. I can't call anything I talk about my life. Dad runs again, with a megaphone. Half the time it's wrong, creating fights that we don't need picked. Like, what are you doing?
I'll tell you this then. It makes you think, was he the one that leaked the Penn news in February?
It does make you think.
Mr. Portnoy, I don't know. And then what was your favorite video so far? Do you have one? I mean, they're all good, obviously, but does one stick out?
The two that were not taken by me, of the dads breaking down, both dry cleaners, ironically, shin cleaners in Arkansas, and then there was another one, I forget the city. I think it was Arizona, actually. Those are stuck out. Flanagan's Boathouse in Conshohocken stood out.
The daughter calling the mom was a monster one.
The daughter calling the mom.
The Monopoly-looking guy from Indiana was great.
Siebert's clothing, Lascelles. They're unbelievable. I just had another great one. These people are being touched and moved, and it really is pretty gratifying to be able to help these people, and not just me, obviously, but like all of Barstool who's rallied behind it. I think, like Dan texted me, he's like, if Barstool was a stock, we were never lower and never higher by the end of the year. And I think for some people, not all, but who work at this company, and there's always been sort of, Barstool from the crowd that doesn't hate us. It's nice to be, like when Kevin Malone finally gets his parking spot, and he's just like, it's nice to win one. Like,
just nice to win one.
Yeah. So I think there's a sense of pride throughout the company, which is nice. And for all our readers and fans and people who've been like, you guys don't know Barstool. You don't know the Barstool. You don't pay attention. This is happening on a large scale. It's forcing people to pay attention and jamming it down the haters' throats.
Is it the greatest moment of vindication you've had since doing Barstool?
No. It's not really vindicating in my mind. It's just, I like shutting up the critics, but no. I mean, the first time that idiot wrote a hit piece on us, I think, we announced we sold the company like 3 hours later. So,
and the thing that's amazing to me is, like, of course it's crazy, $18 million. Who knows where it's going to go? But in the same sense, I'm really not all that surprised.
People ask me, I'm not surprised at all. People,
really not.
People who don't know us, don't like us, whatever, aren't familiar. Like, we always do charity. Always. We've been doing charity since the thing started. Now, we've gotten so much bigger, so we can do it on a larger scale. But I could probably sit here and reel off 10 to 15 major charity movements that we've done. And we do them quickly. We don't do them for like headlines of public. We do them to help. And we've done that for a long ass time. So people who want to paint us with a certain brush, they just don't care to look, listen, find out, and fuck those people.
And even without the celebrities and the rich people getting involved, there's things in the millions with just fucking on the back of the common folk and the stoolies.
150,000 people have donated.
It's crazy, man, but it's not surprising at all, like we said.
And it's part of, I haven't said it, but it is like, because almost every, or 1 out of every 3 tweet, say what you want about Dave Portnoy, good or bad about Dave Portnoy. I may not agree with everything Dave Portnoy. We do this because we are who we are. And I've said it in different ways many times. It's like, we're a comedy site. We try to make people laugh. It doesn't always hit. When it's time to be serious, we know when to be serious, but we're normal people. And it's like, we're just average guys, girls who fucking try to enjoy life. And the reason we can do this is because we've been genuine and authentic for 2 decades. And that's it.
It's legitimately been part of the Stoolie experience, the Barstool fan experience forever.
Forever.
From back knowing like, oh, you got to check these guys out. It's just a little blog. They do the bro show. They also fucking help people when they're down. It's been part of Barstool forever.
Forever.
Yeah. All right, let's explain that picture. Before we do that, let's talk about Simply Safe. Everyone wants to keep their home and family safe, whether it's from a break-in, a fire, flooding, or a medical emergency. Simply Safe Home Security delivers award-winning 24/7 protection. With Simply Safe, you don't just get an arsenal of cameras and sensors. You get the best professional monitors in the business. They've got your back. day and night, ready to send police, fire, or EMTs when you need them the most, straight to your door. Dave, you got some Simply Safe. I mean, you got to keep yourself protected.
Yeah, I'm debating getting a place in Miami. I'm going to have to lock that place up.
You'll need Simply Safe for sure. So we'll hook you right up. Simply Safe is there for you. Right now, the listeners get a free home security camera when you purchase the Simply Safe system at simplysafe.com/Portnoy. You also get a 60-day risk-free trial, so there's nothing to lose. Visit simplysafe.com/Portnoy for your free security camera today. That's simplysafe.com/Portnoy. All right, Michelangelo, can we pull up the picture? This is a very common one that people like to tweet at you. I honestly don't know what it's from.
Oh, that's when I was buried alive for Black Friday.
How many years ago?
Not long ago. It's not this. Didn't we bury alive 2 years ago? 3 years ago. It wasn't last Black Friday. This Black Friday, we did the escape room, which is just made no sense. The year before was White Sox Dave. The year before that was buried alive.
Okay. So it was like a certain threshold that you had to get to, and then
yeah. And so it was a camera like an inch away from my face, and I'm like in dirt in like a coffin.
And people do send that to you a lot, right?
I don't get that much.
No, I feel like
I don't know what happened to my face, but yeah.
it's like a
like
Joe
an
Buck
alien.
Big Cat picture.
Yeah, like deformed.
Yeah, it's an interesting picture. So go to the YouTube. All full episodes are on YouTube if you want to check that out. Some Barstool stuff here. Everyone is banging on the door. They want to know about Sirius.
I think we're pretty much done.
It's over.
I'll let Erica be the ultimate confirmation, but at last check, I was be very surprised if we're continuing. I think we're going to try to do some sort of radio ourselves. I mean, Sirius treats us like they don't want us, to be honest.
So is that because of the offer, or is this kind of getting to a situation where we might be able to do something?
The offer is not even remotely anything that would be worth considering, from my understanding.
And is there like something in mind already where like Barstool could make money, maybe a subscription, maybe a something with ads?
I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be.
And when's the last official day?
Mid-January, so probably like the 19th or somewhere around there.
So pretty much only a couple weeks left. And
yeah.
So I think last time we talked to you like 95% or so. So
99.8.
99.8% Barstool is off Sirius.
Yes, unless Sirius is playing some sort of like shrewd negotiation to see if we're going to do it, which I don't think they are. And again, this happens. There's no bad feelings. We had a contract. We fulfilled the contract. And just like in any business, what we feel our value is not what they feel their value is. So we'll part ways.
Do you think, I mean, because I guess it was such like a big announcement when it first happened. It's just kind of disrespected, or it's like we've kind of moved past them. We're in different scenarios.
No, I wouldn't use disrespect at all. I think, and Sirius would have to speak to this, I think a lot of their model, granted Stern's their number one guy. They spent a shit ton on it. But, with us, they're not going to get like a ton of new subscriptions because they already got the subscriptions. That's their model. So you got to keep adding subscriptions. So there's more value to something new than something old. So that could be it, maybe. Now, they're hoping that they don't get cancellations because then that theory blows up. But that's just me hypothesizing.
Do you personally want to do daily radio again?
Not really. They really have to make it worth my while. And that's part of the issue. Because they want me like a 2-hour everyday show. It's like, yo, this show already makes more than what you guys are paying me. So why would I do that?
Yeah.
And this is 1 hour a week and easy.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense. One of the biggest stories of 2020 talked about earlier was Call Her Daddy. Pretty sure Cooper's contract was up. I was kind of just looking for an update. What's going on?
It's not up yet.
Oh, no?
No. Okay. We're going to try to keep her. We'll see how it goes.
Gotcha. So we're not at that quite at that bridge yet.
No.
You think she wants to stay?
I think if she stays doing what she does, she'll stay. If she somehow transfers out and becomes like a movie star or something, then, there's not much we can do.
How often do you talk to her?
I've talked to her a decent amount.
So you guys seem like you're kind of like buddies now?
For now.
No. Some other things, a couple new shows. I don't know if you have any comments or you're aware of them or not. Looks like we got the Kevin Clancy show, Because We Got High. Kelly Keegs, Brianna, and Rhea. Brendan Walker are wrestling. Minahan's doing a true crime thing.
I think Minahan's true crime thing will be one of the best things we do.
Really?
Yes. Minahan, when he's into something, is, as talented as anybody we got. It's a unique subject. It's something that always plays on podcasts. I'd be stunned if that's not huge.
Well, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Clancy just changed the name of the show, correct?
I believe it's still in the mail time feed. So
yeah, that's one thing. Wrestling, I don't know. Brandon Walker begged to do it, so fine. Because We Got High, maybe I said yes to that. If I do, I don't remember. Who knows?
Any other shows in the works? Anything happening with that?
There is one being announced on Friday, I think, but we can get it out early with Trista.
Basketball?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so a Trista basketball show.
I guess.
All right, there you go. So look out for those. Also, there was a girl who said Barstool texted her a job offer, offering $110,000, but you got to dress a little tight clothes and stuff. It was pretty obviously fake, but she still blasted it out there.
Yeah, she was looking for some shine, and she blacked out the phone number, but left our name in there. And I it was starting to gain some momentum, and everyone's like, "Oh, of course it's Barstool." Well, it's obviously totally fake, and you're an idiot. And then once I called her out, she's like, "Yeah, it's probably fake, but it doesn't change the fact it happens." It's like, what? Like, that's a weird apology. Actually, it wasn't an apology. Just a total dick.
Big Ev had a funny tweet about it. He was like, "Oh, this never happens," and that's quite literally how Big Ev got hired.
Yeah, right.
In a different
It
sense.
happens to pretty girls and fatzos.
No. But no, that was. But I guess I dug into a little bit. I guess someone did something else to another girl, and they said they were from Yahoo. So they're not just like whoever's doing this is not just targeting Barstool. It's just they're targeting women in media anyways, which is fucking weird. But no surprise, there's a lot of weirdos.
I mean, is it that surprising? The internet's a fucking weird place.
Big time. Big time. Did you see Tom Brady tweeted your guy, Steven Chia?
Yeah. Well, he's just, that's child's play. He's doing the TB12 method. I mean, fucking Brady would retweet the Taliban if they were doing the fucking TB12 method.
White Sox Dave Williams resigns from Penn National.
Oh, the CFO?
Yeah.
Continue.
Does that mean anything or no?
No, the stock took a little bit. No, he was only there for like a year. I misread the press release. He's in LA, doesn't want to relocate. He hasn't been here that long, and we got a great replacement, so no.
It's just a shame White Sox Dave never got to do the video.
I know.
It's a shame. I went to the Ameristar in East Chicago. It was awesome. So, by the way, if anyone's out there, go check it out. They did a great job with the sports book. Let's talk about Bespoke Post, Dave, and let's do some listener emails, and we'll get out of here.
Well, can I just...
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy show. Right? It's the Dave Portnoy show. White Sox
what's
Dave.
up?
What type of fucking idiot do you have running Redline Radio?
Oh.
You're not going to bring that up, huh, Eddie?
Well,
what type of fucking idiot do you have doing that? He gets fished on something that Paul already sent out. Hey, I know this is wildly obvious that this is a phishing scam, but just in case there's some morons who are so stupid, so incapable of using their brain, don't fill out this Google form and give the password to your social media accounts. You know who fell for it? Redline Radio. Who is the moron you got running that?
Yeah, it's one of our guys. Tough timing right before the Bears-Packers game. It sucks. Not a great move.
Who is the moron who is running that?
I'll take the heat.
Who
It's fine.
is the moron? Eddie? Who? Is he brainless? Is he an orangutan?
High tension, Dave. It was a high tension. It was Bears Packers,
Hey, we need all your information. Put your credit card in here, your user passwords. And this idiot, okay, like a fucking moron.
Is Gaz in there still? Are we going to be able to get those back?
Yeah, we're still working on trying to get it back. Yeah.
How do you fall for that?
I don't know.
Are you worried you have a brain-dead moron in your midst? And I'm not talking about the other guys you work with. This guy's a whole new level.
I mean, there's definitely room for caution after that, for sure.
What an idiot.
But no, he made a mistake. He'll be fine.
Yeah. He made a mistake.
So the Twitter got taken, and then whoever they give the password to just tried the password on other accounts, and so the Instagram's gone, and we're still working on that. So it's just like a snowball effect. And actually, some other account in Chicago, like a sports account, got the catfished. Got the same thing happened to them because Redline Radio DM'd them thinking it was legit, and then that idiot filled it out too. So like, there's other problems in Chicago.
What do you mean they DM? What?
So they take over this account. Because you give them the password, then they start sending that Google Doc out to other people.
So who sent it to you?
Who sent what?
Someone else who was verified who got hacked. So it's like if you follow them, so that's the thing. It was verified, so that's why he said he fell for it. But if you're verified and then it sends it, and it doesn't go to your like message request DMs, it goes to your like straight up real DM if you're following them, if that makes sense.
But who got hacked prior? Like if Justin Verlander hit me up out of the clouds, like, hey, I need your password for like Google and Instagram, be like, what? Maybe that's a red flag.
I'm not positive, but they switched it into like a Erica Trista situation where they changed the header name, but the handle's like weird.
You got a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we get those back.
I like how we'll ask everything that's going on, but the Redline Radio moron being an absolute idiot getting his fucking shit hacked, we'll skip right over that.
Well, for better or worse. So, okay, there's other stuff. There's questions people asking. Hey, Chicago's doing well. When they get a new office? So, do you want me to bring that up too?
Well, I don't know. You guys look. That's been a green light forever, hasn't it?
Kind of, I guess.
As far as I know.
Sorta. I guess it's in the works, but.
Well, this will set you back.
Guys, speaking of idiot moves, I invited Mr. Portnoy via text, and he has been sitting in the FaceTime waiting room. So I don't know how long he's been on, but he's sitting here. Should we let him in?
Sure.
Get it.
You there,
Mr.
Dad?
Portnoy,
I'm here.
can you turn your camera on, Mr. Portnoy?
Yeah. Isn't
There we
there?
go.
There we go.
So
I'm here to defend myself.
you don't know what we said about you.
I'm sure it wasn't good.
Well, I said that I have to stop. I get all
Yeah.
you and
right.
Mom do is complain I
All
don't
right.
call,
Well,
and
I
then
want
when
you to-
I
want you to
call, you're sitting like with your Twitter fingers. Things I
Yeah.
say to her, you blast out to the world.
All right. Will you listen for a few minutes and then I'm not going to apologize. I don't even know if you know what I did. But that individual that we're talking about, all I did with a tweet when he was saying how great he is and what he's doing, I thought it would have been appropriate to him to mention that Barstool Fund is also doing a great job. If that's so terrible, I'm not going to apologize for that. There was something else that I thought he said that I didn't bring up because maybe I didn't hear it correctly. But boy, he's got a thin skin. And how did he react to me? You know what he said to me? How much money have I donated? Is that a reasonable response? I don't want, I'm surprised you even want to talk about this because basically you told me to shut my mouth and don't say anything.
Well, first of all, you said something on the phone, which now you're backtracking on.
What did I say on the phone?
You said that he said he donated $1 million.
No, that was between you and I. I never
But you said, do you know what he said on the phone, on the TV?
What? No, what he said I told you weren't listening. I said, I think he said that, but I wasn't sure.
You didn't
so
say
I
that.
never. Let me finish.
You didn't
so
say
I
that,
never
though.
brought it up. The only thing I said about him in public, which he took extreme offense to, I think it's Shakespeare that said he has protest too much. The only
Did
thing
you
I
just look
said.
at that?
Let me finish.
But did you look for that quote?
No, I happen to know it.
Looked like you looked for it.
No, you've done enough talking. I'm going to talk now. The fact of the matter is, the only thing I said in public about him was, and I don't take it back, I thought I was kind of sarcastic. I said, I think it was just an oversight that he didn't mention the Barstool Fund. That's all I said in public. What I said to you, and I'm amazed that you said that, was a conversation you and I had when you were scolding me this morning. And I said, I'm not sure that I think you also made it seem like he contributed another $500,000. I didn't put that out in public.
Well, he didn't say that. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Was anything that we've discussed about Marcus color your why you did that?
No.
That's a lie.
I don't even know what you mean by that question.
We had a discussion about him privately.
Do you think why would I lie about that? I'm telling you the truth.
There's no chance you would have tweeted that.
You're talking about the tweet we're talking about.
Yes.
You're absolutely wrong.
No, I'm not.
And even if that were so, what difference does it make?
Because I'm telling you things that I don't expect you then to go onto social media and blare out. Like, have I mentioned anywhere what show I'm going on tomorrow?
What's that? Why is that private?
Because we're waiting to announce it with them. I told Mom.
Okay, all right. That's a mistake. And
Ian said the wrong show.
So then they'll watch the wrong show. I didn't.
But like,
look, that's a whole different issue. I apologize for that. All right.
But I'm talking to Mom and you in a private thing, and you're going online and creating like.
I'm telling you, if I didn't think. Now, I want to keep these two things separate for a second. Can we do that? Just for a second. Then you can go on and scold me some more. The thing about Marcus, I am not going to retract that at all. By the way, I want to say that the show they did about the diamonds, I found very interesting. But he obviously, he had a program about the diamond industry in New York. I found it very interesting. Okay. That was on I think, when he was promoting what the donation he made. He was on because he had a program coming on. And I'm just saying, as an aside, I thought that program was very interesting. I'm saying that what I said on the Twitter account about that, I thought there was an opportunity for him to say, by the way, and I'm trying to get some more publicity for what this great thing you're doing. So I'm terrible. I didn't think what I said was so bad. I said Marcus, you had an opportunity. I'm sure it was just an oversight. You didn't mention the Barstool Fund. He went ballistic. He started saying, "How much have I donated?" What? Who says that? I'm not passing myself as being him or you financially. I never did. I never would. So what kind of response is that? That's like he's like an elephant and I'm a bug, so he figured he'd step on me. Big deal. You think that bothers me? I'm 73 freaking years old. You think what he said could ever bother me?
It seems to have maybe bothered you.
No, what you say does bother me because I love you and you're my son. And what you say to me matters. What he says to me does not matter. But I could give a shit about Marcus Lemonis.
But do you understand that maybe I don't want my dad in a Twitter fight with the guy who
There was no fight.
Yes.
There was no fight. He made a remark and asked me, how much did I donate? I ignored it. There's no fight.
No, that was a fight. You chirped him, he chirped you.
No. I did a tweet and I didn't even answer his response. And I didn't intend to.
But you tweeted at him and initiated it.
Yeah, and he apparently has very thin skin.
What does that matter? I
didn't think what I said was true.
But why would you do that tweet? Like, he's involved in this. It's, to me, not your place.
I don't expect you to follow the things I tweet. When I tweet a lot of things about people and incidents that are negative, and it's not because I have any unknown thing with a particular person or individual.
But
I don't
this
have any
person
problem
is
with him.
involved in the fund.
David, the only thing that motivated me was maybe I'm not naive. Maybe he would have said at some point, "Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned."
Well, let me say this clearly for those at home, and I wasn't going to say it, but now we have it on. I think in the beginning he challenged me, and he was slightly delayed in donating his portion of the money.
And I didn't say anything about that. Anyway.
Be quiet. So we went back and forth, and I felt it was a little off-putting at times that he seemed to be like credit-driven. He hadn't given the money. He did give the money, and you give a $500,000. Thank you very much. You knew all that before you tweeted that, because I told you privately.
What's that?
Because I told you that privately.
But that has nothing to do with what I tweeted. Eddie, rescue me from this.
You actually did say that on the show too, Dave.
Thank you, Eddie.
No, I didn't.
I'm pretty sure you did. You said not yet. He hasn't donated yet. We're still figuring it out. And
yeah,
then,
but I didn't. Right, I didn't say anything of what I just said. I had in a private conversation with my dad that I thought I was surprised at the way he was handling it. He knew that. He knew
something.
You don't think that's relevant?
Can I tell you something? If you'll be quiet for a minute and just listen.
Your turn.
Thank you. I've also sent things out to the Boston Globe, in effect, to say, why aren't you talking about the Barstool Fund? Gets me nowhere. I understand that. But that's the same thing.
No, it isn't.
Why?
He donated $500,000 to our fund. He initiated. I told you something privately, and then you sent him a snide remark that I don't believe you would have ever sent a million years if you didn't have the information from the private phone call.
And you just asked me, and if you won't accept what you think I will not tell you the truth about this.
Yes.
I'm telling, well.
You may not believe it. Eddie, you're listening here, Eddie, as a third party. If he has information that he knows that I feel it's been a little weird, and that's putting it mildly in how it went down, and then he seemingly takes a shot at him, how is that not related?
I get it. It's like, in a sense, you're thinking like that gave him the green light to kind of.
Well, that changes how he views. It's like he intentionally didn't do it.
But Eddie, do you think what I said was so terrible?
How many tweets did you do? I think you did 2, right?
One. I think it was just one. Where I said, I think it was, even if it was 2, it was the identical. I never responded to him. That I know.
I also think it's a situation you said too, Dave. He responds to everybody.
He does, but we knew that. Like, he knew that. I told him that.
So I ignored him. I mean, I wasn't looking.
Why are you? But why? Like, I don't want to wake up and end up like having to deal with something that you've created when you really.
You've asked me what went through my mind, and I'm going to tell you what probably went through my mind with this is I see an awful lot of places where there should be mention of the Barstool Fund in the media, and it's not. Okay. I think that's been going through my mind consistently, that I cannot believe some of these stories that I see on CNN and ABC and CBS. They're talking about these human interest stories, etc., businesses closing, and they should be mentioned.
You tweeted about him 3 times. Obviously, stunning. I'll read them for you.
All right, read them.
Obviously, a stunning job done by everyone connected to the Barstool Fund and the donors, large and small, who have made this happen. Don't want to say anything negative tonight, so I will not. Parentheses, Marcus Sabonis.
What's wrong with that?
That's a shot.
He can take it. Apparently not. But.
Second tweet. Sorry of the spelling of Marcus' name. He knows who he is.
I misspelled his name. I apologize.
Next tweet. Just watch Marcus Lemonis on CNBC. talking about what he's done for restaurants, etc. Sure, it was just an oversight that he didn't mention the Barstool Fund.
Yeah,
so
that's the key one.
in light of those three, you don't think you're coming at him?
I could come a lot harder than I did. I'll tell you that.
You were a jerk.
Huh?
You were a jerk.
I was not a jerk.
Yes,
That's
you
what
were.
you're saying to me. Well, we have a different
Let
definition.
me ask you this. I told you had the background. I never said anything negative publicly about him at all.
Well, apparently that's in controversy right now. Eddie just said you did.
No, I didn't.
I think you said it on the
No,
show.
I didn't.
Dave.
I said we're figuring it out.
No, wait a minute. Eddie, what did he say?
I'm pretty sure it was just a question like, well, is this with Lamonis's 500K? And you're like, no, he didn't donate it yet. Like
All
he
right,
wants to like.
I'm sure
That's
he
all it
wasn't.
was said.
Look, I'm sure Mr. Lamonis was not too happy with that remark for sure.
There was nothing said. You sound ridiculous and like a petulant child. You had information that tainted how you viewed it from a private conversation, and you went public. Well, then you know what? Then I can't trust you. Then you can't get mad that I'm not going to tell you anything about the business.
You already told me you're not going to tell me anything.
But this
ago.
is what people are getting an insight. This is so clear that you had information that was not meant to be public that you basically went public with and created something that I'm doing this fun.
We'll have to agree to disagree.
There is no disagreeing.
I'm telling you, didn't I just get? You don't listen. You're too busy talking.
But you're not accepting facts.
I just told you what was going through my mind, generally speaking, that I see a lot of situations in the mainstream media that beg for a mention of the Barstool Fund. I'm sorry if I was trying to help, okay, in my weak way, and I didn't make any big donations. I'm sorry, Marcus, but I thought I was trying to help. All right. When I've done it in other places that have absolutely nothing to do with him, I've said basically the same thing to these other media outlets. Why aren't you mentioning
Have I complained about what you've said to the Boston Globe or anything that I've never had contact with? A guy who initiated the fund and donated $500,000.
Well, I'm telling you, I can't tell you any more than what I honestly believe.
He was trying to help, Dave. Don't you understand? He was, it was from the right place.
Thank you, Eddie.
Dave's reading a phone. What are you reading?
Well, I was just seeing more of the exchanges between.
I had no exchanges with him.
Again,
I didn't respond to him.
You have a bunch of people underneath you.
So was that my fault?
Yes. Are you that dumb?
Apparently.
It's insinuated. Everyone's like, what? He didn't donate. Like, I talked to you. You asked me about him. I gave you information in a private conversation. You chirp him.
And meantime, you were the one.
Do you understand that you're my dad?
You were the one that said in public that he hadn't donated yet. I didn't even deal with that.
I said Eddie has given you a lifeline. That is not true. I never addressed when people ask, does he donate? I said this, it's coming. You are my dad, so if I'm running this and you put your name on it, get a fight with him, how do you not get that?
I'm telling you, I did it with the best of motives.
You did it because you don't like him.
Huh?
You don't like him. That's why you did it.
I don't like him. I have no feelings about him at all, one way or the other. I wouldn't say don't like him. I don't care about him, one way or the other.
Don't want to say anything negative tonight, so I will not. Marcus Sabonis.
Right. So what's wrong with that?
Eddie, this is my life. He's never wrong. You can't be more wrong than you are here. And he doesn't get it.
Eddie, did you ever hear David say he was wrong about anything? I'll put Eddie in the middle.
It's a good point. He's
God,
done it
Eddie.
before.
Oh,
but not many times.
Eddie,
not much.
Eddie, we had a conversation privately.
Yes.
Which I didn't relate that conversation in any form. And he did in public.
But he does see the last name on your. Doesn't it say your name on your Twitter, Mr. Portnoy?
So, but Eddie? Let me ask you in all honesty.
Yeah.
This guy.
Can I speak without you interrupting? Thank you, David.
You don't think that matters?
You didn't even let me say what I'm going to say. That when I said that it was an oversight that he didn't mention the Barstool Fund, what's so terrible about that? I was being a little sarcastic. So what?
What was the order of those tweets?
That was the big one.
So then how did you go back and say you only said one tweet about him when you've written, like...
I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm 73 years old and I forgot.
Do you think at any level, and I'm not saying it's fair, if you speak, it reflects on me?
I don't know. I only say good things about you, so I don't know. I think you're jumping to some wild conclusions here.
In what respect?
Let me say this. If I said something to the effect, hey, by the way, Marcus didn't donate, et cetera, that'd be a whole different ballgame. But I didn't say that. I didn't even come close to saying that. And I'm telling you, you don't seem to believe me. That is something, that issue about I see in a lot of different places. By the way, he was on MSNBC. That's a fairly decent size, CNBC. Was it CNBC or MSN? I forget. One of the NBC outlets. I think that's a fairly important place. And again, you don't seem to believe me, but all I was trying to do was what I'm trying to do in other places that's done absolutely no good. Say, hey, you folks are doing a human interest story about some business that's not doing well.
But you
what
know
about
that I have a relationship with him.
Look, I'm not going to apologize for what I did, but I will never say anything.
Well, you know, I'm not going to tell you anything to say.
Well, then that'll solve the problem.
It will. It will. And Eddie, shame on you for not being fair.
It was very fair.
Oh, my God.
The point is being lost here. That's the big thing. Mr. Porter, you don't understand that Dave's upset because he told you this in a private conversation. So he was like, well, if it's above deck, you could say it. If it's below deck, it should stay below deck. Is that right, Dave?
Yes.
That's your point. And then Mr. Portnoy's point is he was just trying to help. He didn't think it was that bad. And what he said couldn't have been construed from a private conversation.
That's right. Thank you.
So I think we're arguing different things
but
here.
And
I'm sure it's an oversight based on the conversation that my father and I had. There's no way he knew that wasn't an oversight.
Give me 1 second to
He knew it was an oversight based on our conversations prior.
Listen,
he knew it.
You just jumped to a conclusion that you don't seem to understand that what I'm telling you is the God's honest truth. I've been saying very similar things in other contexts to other people that have absolutely nothing to do with any conversation I had with you.
Can you, if I put together a list, I can almost guarantee you there wouldn't, like Marcus Lemonis, not in a million years would have been somebody you would have contacted.
You're wrong. I can't think off the top of my head, but I've done it.
Well, you couldn't remember how many tweets you had 2 days ago, so I don't think that's going to be credible.
Look, my motives...
Like, that's like me saying I would be tweeting at Marcus Lemonis, not in a million years, until he came into our lives.
No, you just talked about it on the air, saying that he hadn't donated yet.
No, I didn't. Not in that respect.
Huh?
Not in that respect. He asked, I said, not yet. I made it sound like it was coming.
Yes.
But I never did that. I never spoke one word about that. Never. Didn't even come close. You want me to apologize for something that in all honesty, I'm not going to disrespect myself. I don't think I'm wrong about this.
You're 100% wrong.
Can I say one thing? I do understand when you say that anything I say, you feel reflects on you. I understand that. But I didn't think this was a especially private situation, and I didn't think I was betraying any private conversation by what I said.
You don't think it's weird if you acknowledge what you say reflects on me for you to engage in a Twitter fight with a guy who donated $500,000 and actually started by challenging me the fund. You don't think that's weird?
And my answer to that is, and if you want me to spend some time, I have done that on several occasions, said, why don't you folks mention the Barstool Fund? Okay? I've done that.
You just see no difference between somebody who's directly involved and like tweeting at the Boston Globe.
I've done it for more than just the Boston Globe. I'm trying. I really feel that what I would say, you remember we got in another argument about the fact it really wasn't an argument, but I said I was wondering, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because it shows we were talking about whether or not you're not being in the mainstream media with this and only on Fox. And I said, maybe it's just a competitive situation. And you said, I'm crazy. It's all political. You remember we had that discussion?
Well, yeah, Minahan called you out for that.
Yeah. And I made the remark that I didn't necessarily totally agree with that. And what I've attempted to do, and if you're calling me out, I can't remember, but I can find several times when I've attempted to say to some of these mainstream outlets, I want to tell you something else. You won't believe, well, you probably will believe it. I try to place a call into CBS television. I try to place a call into NBC television because I think the mainstream media ignoring what you're doing is terrible. So all I was trying to do with this guy
CBS,
was
Boston Globe, NBC, Marcus Lemonis, like
Marcus Lemonis was on MSNBC or CNBC.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people on these channels.
He had a great opportunity to mention the Barstool Fund. A great opportunity. He didn't do it. Why? Why?
It is curious why he didn't do it, though, Dave. You could say that. Besides the point here.
It's totally besides the point. He can do what and this is where if I was Marcus Lemonis, I would say the same thing to my dad. If you want to donate $500,000, talk. Donate $500,000.
So I don't understand the point of that.
Why are you chirping me? That's what my thing. It's like, oh, I didn't mention. He just donated $500,000 in Nashville. He does a ton of charity.
You donate $500,000. That means he's
done a lot more than that.
Well, wait a minute. Theoretically, the whole theme of it is what a humanitarian he is. All right. And donated a lot of money. So that means he can ignore someone else that's trying to help the same cause. What would it have taken him? 10 seconds to say, oh, by the way, the Barstool Fund is doing a good job too. I'm sorry. I was trying to help.
No, you weren't.
What was I trying to do?
You were taking information you had and throwing a jab at him.
Look, we'll have to agree to disagree.
No, we won't. I don't agree to disagree.
But
you're just wrong.
You know what, Dave? You know what, Dave? I won't bother you anymore. Don't call me anymore if you don't want to talk to me. You call me. You never answer me anyway, so I'm not going to miss anything. All right?
There's just no more business.
Do what you want. David, I love you. All right? We talked about your ego back a couple of weeks ago. It's a little out of control.
I think yours is.
Mine is. What do I have to have an ego about?
Well,
I was trying to help.
Okay. All right. Good talk.
Can you guys make up before we sign off? I can't.
I already told him 3 times I loved him, and he hasn't said it back.
Dave, say
Love
it back.
you, Dad.
What?
Love you. Eddie, this is your fault. If you let him go on and he thinks he's right.
Eddie hasn't said I'm wrong. He says it's 2 sides of the thing.
I think the point of the argument is lost. Is what I've said from the jump. But we gotta move past this, Dave. You guys said I love you. It's good. Okay. You'll still call him, right, Dave?
Yes, he has before.
We will not talk business. No more like, how's this guy behind the scenes?
We'll talk turkey carving.
Yes.
Thanks, Eddie.
All right.
Now, see, let me just say something about that. I don't take offense at that at all. I look like a fool. So what?
A man of honor. Doesn't get
More
mad
so
about
than
his
you
turkey
believe,
cutting.
apparently.
I'm not going to get. He proved his
said
point
enough.
there. He proved his point. You win, Dad. You didn't get mad about the turkey cutting video. Okay.
No, you've said more than enough, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And I'll apologize to Marcus Lemonis when he puts Barstool Fund up together with you.
He did donate $500,000.
So what? I understand that. He said he was going to do that.
What do you mean, so what? Never mind. I can't get into it. That's
Now, somehow you think you've convinced me.
Dad, I've known you long enough. It doesn't matter how wrong you are. You're incapable of being convinced. So maybe I get that from you, except luckily.
Luckily what?
A little smarter.
You're smarter than me.
Yes.
Luckily.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll go to bed thinking about that.
All right.
No, come on. We just mended the fence. Come on, Mr. Portnoy, don't go. Say, come on.
I love
make
you,
up
Dad.
here.
I understand.
You're not going to say it back, Mr. Portnoy?
I did already. I do love him.
Well, we need one more.
And I want to say something else. I'm very proud of him, obviously. And the last thing I'm trying to say, I was only trying to help. And I thought that was an opportunity. And anybody that doesn't think that I know what he's saying about when you give $500,000, you don't have to acknowledge anybody else about anything. You bought the time, so to speak. And it's your show. It's the Marcus Lemonis show, the Prophet or whatever the hell it is. And he's not under any obligation to credit anybody else for anything especially when you give $500,000. I understand, believe it or not, David, I understand that argument. My only response to that is, at this point in time, he's trying to help people, and Barstool Fund is trying to help people. And the Barstool Fund has not been on the mainstream media very much. And that was an opportunity to have it happen. So if I made a mistake, I'm sorry. But I was only trying to help. I wasn't trying to assuage my ego.
You weren't
David's
trying to
ego.
needle. You weren't trying to needle him.
I was trying to help. And if needling somehow is the way to do it, so be it. I was being a little bit sarcastic, yes. But I didn't think I'd get the response from him, and I really don't care about him, but I didn't think I'd get the response from you, although I understand what you're saying. If you're telling me that when you're on the air like that, like he was, you don't have to acknowledge anything, even if it's for the better good of him, of who he's trying to help and who you're trying to help.
I'm really
That's
not.
so clear to me.
I don't want to go in a circle. I'm not commenting on
You understand
anything.
what I just said, Eddie?
I'm saying it's not your place as my dad with the same last name to start getting in a Twitter fight with the guy who initiated the fund and donated $500,000, and you should have realized that.
Let me ask you something. When you say a fight, if I had responded to that.
You're right.
it would
You're
be-
right.
I
You're
didn't
right. He's right,
respond.
Eddie. You're right. You're right. I've come to my senses. You're right.
Thank you.
Okay.
I do love you.
I love you too.
Eddie, keep the tape of this and admitting that I was right.
He's
I
definitely
appreciate
right.
All right, Mr. Portnoy, thank you. Have a nice night.
it. Yeah, I will.
Eddie, shame on you.
What did I do?
The man was making no sense, Eddie.
His point was, I said it. You were arguing, hey, you took information that I told you.
He's saying he didn't. How can you possibly say that with a straight face?
But I think his major point was he was just trying to help.
After a show is done and aired and off the air, how does that, what good is that doing? He was needling him because he doesn't like him.
But you know who else needles and been needling people about the fun? You.
I am needling people I'm friends with for the most part outside of Ravel, and no one cares. I'm not going with somebody that, like, my dad has a relationship with that I don't know, that I have feelings based on a private conversation. It's just...
I get the point, and I said that to him. I said, "You're
his
missing the
last
point."
name is my last name. My last name is his. He gave me his. Like, I'm doing it. Like, it's not worth it. If I had something to say, I would have said it. And you going back on this podcast, I did not say anything negative about him. I said it's not.
It wasn't
being figured
negative. It was the donation
But
wasn't.
You
in
let him get away with saying it was negative. I haven't said anything negative until this episode because of him, which was a little surprised how it went down. But he donated. I'm happy and great, and he's done a ton. And I said he's done a ton of charity beyond what it was on that last episode. I didn't said one negative thing. Without him, the fund doesn't happen. He donated $500,000. He did. And then it's like, oh, your dad's in a fight. It's like, what?
I get your point too, and I said that to him. I said,
Anybody who listened to that who doesn't, my dad's, whatever. It is what it is. He's my dad. Yeah. That's the episode. No, I got to go now.
All right.
'Cause
All right. We got one more ad. Could you do one more ad?
Yeah.
All right. Bespoke Post. The curators at Bespoke Post have done it again this winter with an all-new lineup of essential box of awesome collections for guys guaranteed to upgrade your life. Dave, we got these boxes coming in. I got the age box. It's like you age some booze, some bourbon. It's really cool. I'm really excited to get it. To get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answer will help them pick the right box of awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. Are you excited to get your box, Dave?
I cannot wait, Eddie. I need stuff. I just like stuff.
You do. The unboxing, boxes, everything makes sense. So I'm excited for mine. To get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code Dave at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code Dave for 20% off your first box. All right. No listener emails today. And
Blame that on my dad. We could have gone, by the way. I have been in conversations with him throughout my life. And maybe it's me too. There's definitely a lot of me. I think I nailed it. It's like I'm very similar to him, except I operate on a higher intellectual capacity, thank God. But that would have gone around in circles forever.
Are you actually mad at him?
No. He gets mad. I don't get mad. I get
He's,
frustrated.
upset.
Yeah, he was really mad. But it'll
Like, will he
pass.
call you later?
Yeah, it'll go quick.
Yeah.
But it's almost like debating Liz Gonzalez back in the day. Doesn't matter the point, doesn't matter anything. He refuses. Like, he had information that totally, if he's sitting here with a straight face saying he would tweet at Marcus Lemonis, he barely knew Marcus Lemonis was. Get out of here. It's insane.
Yeah. I don't know. He looked sad though.
Well, he is. He was upset.
So he'll call you or you're going to call him on the plane?
Oh, we'll both forget about it.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. You guys will keep going.
Yeah, no, that won't be brought up again.
All right.
It is what it is. He's my dad. I'm his son. That's how it goes.
All right. So you forgive him. It's over.
Yeah. It
All
would have
right.
been a lot easier if just be like, yeah, I fucked that up. I don't know what I was thinking, but he'll never do that. I mean,
I need to give the people closure. I needed some closure there, Dave.
well,
That
Eddie,
was-
you
that
could have
was-
solved it if you just were like, Mr. Portnoy, you're wrong here. Like, you can't say what you're
And
saying.
I said he was wrong for that, and I said we're arguing different points. His point at the end of the day, Mark, in his eyes,
He wasn't
he
trying
was
to help.
okay needling Marcus Lemonis, regardless if you were upset with him or not. His point was that like he still should have said something in his eyes. But obviously you don't believe him.
There's 0.0% chance that exchange happens if I don't have a private conversation with him. Zero. There's just zero. And he wasn't trying to like help. He was trying to be like, hey, buddy, like, how about, because that's it.
Yeah. All right, Dave.
Is what it is. Great show, Eddie. Great to be back.
Great to be back. We'll see you
Bye.
next week.